Hello viewers, I'm here with yet another video on IELTS General Reading, Yes, No, Not Given, and Match the Heading. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and smash the like button, also comment below. What do we have here? We have the Match the Heading up front. So sometimes you will be given nota bene, take notes, which is in Latin word. Nota bene means take notes. Sometimes the headings will be repetitive, sometimes it will be not repetitive. Here the nota bene is not given, so it will not be repetitive. So only one paragraph will have one matching heading. All right. So let's see what do we have here. Okay, so these are the list of headings, and already one example has been given. So section A, the numerical 7 has been taken over. So that will not be repetitive. So ordering furniture from home will not be repetitive. So section B, they're not asking you anything for that. They're only asking you the answers for section C, section D, section E, and section F. So we'll have to only try and crack that. Let's go to section C. Unlike most cards, the Fabulous Furniture credit card offers a full 60-day interest-free period on every fabulous purchase, no matter when you make your purchase. This leaves you with more money to spend on other things. So they are saying that unlike most cards, the Fabulous Furniture credit card, so everywhere in the United States, Canada, and other countries, you will only find a card. Most people will not be using the currency because they'll be accumulating some kind of points which they will redeem at every juncture. All right. So a full 60-day interest-free period on every fabulous purchase or of furniture. So what do we have here? We have options like list of headings. That is number 1, payment options. Number 2, save money by not paying interest. So out of these, I feel that we are in fact saving money because 60-day interest-free period on every fabulous purchase, and it's not payment option. All right. So save money by not paying interest. So what you do is you have enough money to buy other things. That is what they are saying. So if you're clear with this, we'll move on to section D. You may choose to pay the full amount within 60 days. In this case, you pay no interest. You may spread your payments over a longer period. They're talking about payments here. So ideally, payment option would be the right answer, ideal answer, because no other headings would match. Section E. Application is absolutely free, nor are there any annual fees or administrative fee. Just fill in the application form and bring it to the nearest Fabulous Furniture store. Your application will be processed promptly and you can begin making purchases immediately after your application is approved. So that means they are accepting some kind of application for the credit card. Remember, they all have credit card wherein you swipe the card and then purchase your fabulous furniture. So let's get back to the list of headings. So I see here choosing your style of furniture, free advice on furnishing your home, location of stores, applying for a card. So obviously, applying for the card is the ideal answer. Let's go to the section F. We have stores in every major city. So the ideal answer would be location of stores. This is how you need to match the heading. Remember, it does not say match the paragraph. It says match the heading. So you have to read the paragraph upfront to match the heading. And remember the nota bene. Let's get on with the next question. Okay, these are the answers. So what we chose was correct answer. Okay. So, zoo conservation program. Okay, is the heading, zoo conservation program. So the questions are, do the following statements agree with the views of the writer in reading passage? Yes, if the statement agrees with the writer. No, if the statement contradicts the writer. Not given if it is impossible to say what the writer thinks about this. One example has been given to us. Example is, London Zoo's advertisements are poorly presented. Answer is not given. So in the first paragraph, we have to read to see whether it is available. One of London Zoo's recent advertisements caused me some irritation. So patently did it distort reality? Headline, without zoos, you might as well tell these animals to get stuffed. It was bordered with illustrations of several endangered species and went on to extol the myth that without zoos like London Zoo, these animals will almost certainly disappear. So it is not given anywhere that the London Zoo's advertisements are poorly presented or anything. They say it is some kind of distorting the reality. So let's get on with the 16th question here. I have not taken any questions in order, so you don't have to worry about it. It's just a question. London Zoo's advertisements are dishonest. We read in the first paragraph, it is distorting the reality. So dishonest and distort reality is the synonym, and the answer should be yes. So we got the answer. 17. Zoos made an insignificant contribution to conservation up until 30 years ago. Insignificant means they didn't make any remarkable contribution. Significant means they made some remarkable. Here they are saying insignificant contribution to conservation up until 30 years ago. With the zoo, world's rather mediocre record on conservation, one might be forgiven for being slightly skeptical about such an advertisement. Zoos were originally created as places of entertainment, and their suggested involvement with conservation did not seriously arise until about 30 years ago. So they did not contribute anything until 30 years ago. So it is not now, but before. So here they are saying zoos made an insignificant contribution. So it is true. I have to look at the place where they are at least giving you certain answer like 30 years or something like that. These are the few keywords with which you can find out, but still it's the opinion of the author which you have to look for. Next question. The WZCS document is not known in Eastern Europe. Now we have to see what is WZCS document. So it is a document which is the World Zoo Conservation Strategy, which was founded in September 1993. WZCS document estimates that there are about 10,000 zoos in the world. It says something that there are 10,000 zoos in the world. So we have to find out, it's not known in Eastern Europe. I have found that in a year of working in Eastern Europe, I discover fresh zoos on almost a weekly basis. So that the WZCS document is not known as in Eastern Europe is not given here. You have to quickly skim and scan and roll your eyes to see the answer. So it is not given because they say already 10,000 zoos are there in the world and fresh zoos are coming up. But it does not say that the WZCS document is not known in Eastern Europe. Everybody knows it. So it is not contradicting the statement, but the statement itself is not there. Zoos in the WZCS select list were carefully inspected. So we have to probably go to the next paragraph to see carefully inspected. All right. So let me move my panel here. Okay, the second flaw in the reasoning of the WZCS document is that one would assume that the caliber of the institution would have been carefully examined but it appears that the criterion for inclusion on this select list might merely be that the zoo is a member of Zoo Federation or Association. This might be a good starting point, working on the premise that members must meet certain standards, but again, the facts don't. So whenever you get some answers like but, however, that would contradicting the statement, and you'll have to easily give the answer as no. But again, the facts don't support the theory. So you have to be careful this way, because it says that it was carefully examined, but again, the facts don't support the theory or of careful examination. So it is no. No one knew how the animals were being treated at the Robin Hill Adventure Park. So we have to quickly go where the Robin Hill Adventure Park is given. These include Robin Hill Adventure Park on the Isle of Wight, which many consider the most notorious collection of animals in the country. This establishment, which for years, so they are saying that this particular confinement, wherever the animals are being treated, nobody knows because of the notoriety of the establishment, which for many years was protected by the Isle of Local Council. Isle Local Council is a body, maybe somebody who is protecting that confinement, was finally closed down following a damning report by a veterinary inspector. The place was closed down because of something happened there, as it was always a collection of dubious repute. So it had a bad repute of collection of animals. So that was the reason why it was closed down. So here they are saying that no one knew, everybody knew. It was also under censure. So everybody knew. It is contradicting the statement. So no one knew would be no again. Okay. Everybody knew. Colin Touch was dissatisfied with the treatment of animals at London Zoo. So who is Colin Touch? So you got the answer. No is the answer. Don't give us yes. No is the right answer. Most people said yes. So it is not the right answer, because everybody knew how the animals were being treated at the Robin Hill Adventure Park. Moreover, the veterinary inspector closed down the goddamn place. Anyway, now we are clear with that. Now, Colin Touch is the author of Last Animals at the Zoo. So Last Animals is at the Zoo is I think he's a writer, and he published his Last Animals at the Zoo, Oxford University Press, in the year of 1992. If the world zoos work together in cooperative breeding programs, then even without further expansion, they could save around 2,000 species of endangered land programs. No, endangered land vertebrates, sorry. This seems as an extremely optimistic proposition from a man who must be aware of the failings and weaknesses of the zoo industry, the man who, when a member of the Council of London Zoo, had to persuade the zoo to devote more of its activities to conservation. So what is the question? Colin Touch was dissatisfied. Here he was in fact optimistic, he was positive. So the word dissatisfied is not there, so it is not given. Don't say that it is contradicting the statement, because the word dissatisfied, the phrase, in fact, Colin Touch was dissatisfied, is not there. He was optimistic only. Clearly, it says that this seems an extremely optimistic proposition, that he wanted 2,000 species of endangered land vertebrates to be conserved, done in a confinement, that is, do the conservation by reproducing the animals. Remember when the tigers of Ranthambore were about to go endangered, species was about to go extinct. So they did a program, and then the reproduction program started. Now we have enough tigers at the sanctuary. Anyway, so the number of successful zoo conservation programs is unsatisfactory. So the author is saying it is unsatisfactory. We have to go to the last paragraph and see whether it was unsatisfactory or not. It is there on top of the questions itself. Sorry. Today, approximately 16 species might be said to have been saved by captive breeding programs. So the author is saying 16 species could have been said to have been saved, although a number of these can hardly be looked upon as a resounding success. So somewhat there was no resounding success. Beyond that, about a further 20 species are being seriously considered for zoo conservation programs. Given the international conference at London Zoo was held 30 years ago, this is pretty slow progress and a long way of Tudge's target of 2000 species. So the number of successful zoo conservation programs is unsatisfactory. That means it's a slow progress, unsatisfactory, even though Tudge's target of 2000 species in conservation is kind of not up to the mark, or it is unsatisfactory. So it is yes. Now, if you are still facing some problem with the match the heading, let's get on with one more match the heading, because it is important that you understand match the heading. So in paragraphs A to D, the author describes 4 processes which may contribute to the extinction of a species. Match the list of processes, numerical 1 to 6, to the paragraphs. This is what I said, nota bene, take notes in Latin. There are more processes than paragraphs, so you will not use all of them. Paragraph A, paragraph B, paragraph C, and paragraph D. So there are only 4 paragraphs, and the list of headings are about 6. So everything will not match. Only one answer will be matching the paragraph. All right, let's go to the paragraph A. Early attempts to predict population viability were based on demographic uncertainty. Whether an individual survives from one year to the next will largely be a matter of chance. Some pairs may produce several young in the single year, while others may produce none in the same year. So we are talking about some kind of produce, reproduction, and things like that. Small population will fluctuate enormously because of the random nature of birth and death. And these chance fluctuation can cause species extinctions, even if on an average the population size should increase. Taking only this uncertainty of ability to reproduce into account, extinction is unlikely if the number of individuals in a population is about 50 and the population is growing. We are talking about reproduction. Remember, go to the list and see where you will find loss of ability to adapt, natural disaster, and imbalance of the sexes, and then human disaster, then evolution, the haphazard nature of reproduction. So that is closest that I can find, the haphazard nature of reproduction. They are talking about some pairs may produce several young in single year, while others may produce none. So it is haphazard nature of reproduction is the right answer. Paragraph B. Small populations cannot avoid a certain amount of inbreeding. This is particularly true if there is a very small number of one sex. For example, if there are only 20 individuals of species and only one is male, all future individuals in the species must be descended from that one male. So for most animal species, such individuals are less likely to survive and reproduce. Inbreeding increases the chances of extinction. So they are saying small populations cannot avoid certain amount of inbreeding. This is particularly true if there is a very small number of one sex. So if there are about only 20 individuals of species and only one male, all future descendants have to come from that male only. So what is the right answer here? An imbalance of the sexes, because if only one male is there and future generations of that particular animal has to come from that one male, then it is a probability that the chances of survival are less. That is what they are trying to say. They are saying for most animal species, such individuals are less likely to survive and reproduce. Okay. Variation within the species is the raw material upon which natural selection acts. Without genetic variability, a species lacks the capacity to evolve and cannot adapt. So we are talking about cannot adapt to the changes. If you chop the tree and then ask the panda to go and live in another tree, they will not adapt easily. Or some wild animals, they scent the place. So if they scent the place, they belong in that kingdom of theirs, and they will not allow other animals to come in as well. So that is how they live. So loss of ability to adapt is the right answer. All right. So next paragraph. Recent research has shown that other factors need to be considered. Australia's environment fluctuates enormously from year to year. These fluctuations add yet another degree of uncertainty to the survival of many species. Catastrophes such as fire, flood, drought, or epidemic, they are talking about some natural disasters, may reduce population sizes to a small fraction of their average level when allowance is made for these two additional elements of uncertainty. The population size necessary to be confident of persistence for a few hundred years may increase to several thousand. So even the natural disaster may wipe out and make an animal extinct. Okay, so here we see human disaster, evolution, and then natural disaster. So the answer is numerical 2, which is natural disasters. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Sridhar Santhanam. I'm the founding member of CELPIP Academy. See you on the other side. Thanks for watching.